My name is Joshinak. I am in Tlakabmach. I'm from the Ntsihlako Reserve of the Tlakabmach Nation. And so, and of course, Joshinak. I was named by Grandma when I was 12 years old. That's my Tlakabmach name. My English name is Marty Aspinall. I am 79. I have 4 children, 10 grandchildren, and 4 great-grands. Very busy life with them. My heart goes out to each and every one of my little ones. I look after them as best I can. And my husband left me in 2018. And since then, I've been pretty much on my own kind of thing, except for my children, of course, who look after me. We were when I say we, that includes my grandchildren, my own children, and relatives from the other side of the family. We were in Vancouver, Richmond, Vancouver, for a wake for my for my granddaughter, Gina Helene, who passed away, and they were holding a celebration of life. Prior to even going down to the coast, I'm from Merritt, British Columbia, by the way, Nicola Valley. Prior to leaving for the coast, I was having a great deal of difficulty with what we thought was a UTI. And I was in a tremendous amount of pain. Holy mackerel. But we went anyhow, and I remember talking to some of the people, and some people said it was so nice to chat with me while we were at the wake. I don't remember, you know. I think by then I was, this is about 7 o'clock in the evening by now, because the wake had begun at 5 o'clock. And I was slipping in and out. I didn't know. I was slipping on in and out of consciousness, and trying to be very social human being, because these are all my relatives. And we went back to the hotel where we were registered, and I was told that we went to a white spot to eat, and I had a steak and baked potatoes, the whole shot. I don't remember that meal at all. Nothing. The pain was incredible by then. UTIs and my backside and my right kidneys were really suffering, and I was taking painkillers and what do you call those things? Those antibiotics. We didn't know that wasn't going to help at all. So we got back to Merritt anyhow, and my children deposited me in my apartment and put me to bed and said, "Mom, here's your phone, here's your alert button. We're gonna go home and go to bed." And I said, "Okay, no problem. You guys go on and have a good rest." And yeah, little did I know that things were going to escalate about that time. And they left. My daughter Lana left, and so did my granddaughter Virginia. They left and went home, and I was laying there. With a UTI, of course, the business of having to go to the washroom a lot, came into play. And I woke up and I thought, shucks, anyhow, I have to go. So I got out of bed and I started going across my tiny hallway. And I almost made it to the bathroom, almost. I got to the door and something happened, and I whirled around and I hit the back of my head hit the tub and I hit the floor. I think I was knocked out, but I somehow or another I had enough in me to realize that I was in trouble because I tried to get up and nothing grabbing hold on to anything didn't help at all because and so I did find my phone, which was thankfully beside me, and I phoned my daughter and told her that I had fallen and I wasn't able to get up. And it sounds like the old life cycle thing, help, I have fallen and I can't get up. And that was me that night. And I couldn't get up no matter what I did. I tried to roll over, nothing. She finally got to me. She lived about 10-15 minutes from me. And my granddaughter came as well. She lived down there. And they tried to help me up, and nothing. I was too lethargic. I was lucid. I was slipping in and out, and I couldn't concentrate on anything. So they said, "Well, I think, Mom, we're going to have to phone the ambulance." And I said, "Well, you don't take me to the hospital. I ain't going to no hospital." I was being a stubborn old thing, you know. And they stayed by me the whole night. And the paramedics came and they were looking after me, and they took my blood pressure. They took a reading on something. I don't understand exactly what they did, but in any case, one of the readings that the paramedics took told them that I was very, very close. And all I remember them saying is, "Throw her on the goddamn gurney. We've got to get her moving right now." And yeah, I was thrown on a gurney and off. I was kind of sort of airlifted out of my small bathroom through my small hallway. And I was trying to grab onto the walls, the doors, anything to prevent me from going to the hospital. But I got there. And somehow, I don't know where these people came from, but there was talk about shortage of staff to undertake, anything that was going on in emergency. And I was brought in, and a head nurse was there. There was a doctor whom, thank heavens, I realized who it was, and I had no problem. And other people who I'd known, and they started with me. And the head nurse started with a pair of giant scissors, it seemed to me anyhow, cutting my pajamas up. And I said, "Do you have to do that?" It was one of my favorite jammies, really pretty. And she says, "Well, we've got to get to you. You're in trouble right now." Oh boy, what I kept slipping in and out of consciousness. And that was really scary. But the other thing that I kept apologizing for was I kept uh, wetting my pants, and but I guess that was part of the illness, and it was just responding the way it should. In any case, as they worked with me, they had me on. They said I was dehydrated. They said I was. They they took measurements on my kidneys, and I learned even while I was slipping in and out that uh, adult kidney can be sitting at 60 counts, and that's basically normal. Well, I slipped out again and I was gone, and I learned later on that, which really kind of put me in a perspective that I think I knew where I was going. My kidney count was sitting at 11. My blood sugar was sitting at 33. Normally, I was sitting down at about 5 to 9. And there I was at 33. I was drunker than heck. Oh gosh, I couldn't see. I tried to move up, sit up, nothing. Oh, I was the first time, I think, in a long, long time, I felt so very, very weak and so very, very helpless. There was water. I was dehydrated, so I was like sucking water through my veins as fast as possible. I didn't know what was going on. Um, I think about that time I was crying and not knowing what was going to happen to me, and it was the most frightful thing I think I've ever experienced with my children beside me, and watching them and listening to them because they had just lost their father in 2018, and there I am. This is 2023 and didn't look good for me. Anyway, they gave me a something to sleep with and a painkiller to cut the pain down. Thank heavens, because boy, oh boy, it was an unbelievable what I was going through. And I just said, come on, you guys, you give me something. But they had to know what was the matter first. So I guess as they did the testing, the blood work, the everything, they realized what was needed, and so that's what they applied. I remember standing in a spot somewhere. I couldn't identify where I was. And my mom and dad were sitting beside me on my left side. And they said, come on, Koi, we're going to go this way. We're going to take you out of here. And my husband was on my right side and he took my hand. He said, come on, honey, we're going to get you out of here. We started walking, and as we walked, it became light. Oh, it was beautiful, beautiful. I saw the light where I was going, and I just like, I want to go there. I don't want to stop. I want to go there. And my husband held my hand. And as we walked towards it, everything became lighter, light. bright. It was beautiful. And sometimes when I think about it today, like now, I'm just like, I wish, I wish I didn't have to leave that light. And then this god darn woman beside my husband started pulling me back by my shoulders. And holy cow. And she started talking to me and saying that, no, Marty, you can't go there. You just can't go there. You have to stay here. And she started pulling me back on my shoulders. I don't recognize. I can't ID that voice. Not that one, anyhow. But she took me by the shoulder. She started pulling me back, and then and oh gosh, and then oh shucks, anyhow. As she was pulling me back, my husband let go, and my parents kept kind of, they stepped aside, sort of thing. And my Auntie Tilly, I recognized her voice actor, and she, her voice, hey there, Marty, Marty, you can't go there. You've got things to do. Hey, hey, you can't go there. And the other woman kept saying, yeah, you got things to do. You're not done yet. Oh God, I pushed and I pushed, but nothing. I fell back into my bed, my hospital bed. I didn't realize I was still there yet, but in wherever I was, a dream or a state. Oh God, I didn't want to leave that. And I started crying, and I realized that they had pulled me back, and I landed on the bed, and I started crying. Holy cow. And about that time, my daughter walks in. Hey, Ma, you okay? And then she realized I was crying, and you're not okay. And I cried. Oh my gosh, I cried. I don't know how else to explain that. What happened? It was so good to see my husband, you know, but he was willing to take me, and take me along with him. Uh, I can't explain the light. It was, oh, you turn on a light in a room, it brightens everything up. This is completely, absolutely different. It just enveloped me with oh gosh, anyhow. It was a feeling of peace. I wanted to be there. It was, there was no other place to be except to walk there, go. At that point, there was nothing stopping me, nothing. And my parents, oh, my mama, I did without my mom since 1951 when I got sent to the residential school. And it was so good to see my folks, and they let go and they stepped back. And oh, all my dad said was, Gui, it's okay. Gui meaning baby in our language. Gui, it's okay. You're going to be okay. And that's when they stepped back and they let go. And the light began to fade back, and I slipped back into my bed. know, I don't know. I wanted to step back into that light. I, I never wanted to let my husband's hand go, but he let me go and he stepped back. I've done without him now for 5 years, but he's always been with me, both of them, all of them, all my people. Oh, when I had COVID, they were all there, all of them, my grandmas, my aunties, my uncles. They all came. But this time it was different. They only sent mom and dad and my husband and those two ladies, one of them being my auntie, but I don't know who the other one was. I have no idea. She very commanding voice telling me that I can't go there. And I was quite angry with her. The light was kind of similar to when I've been up a few times with the sunrise, and the sun rays kind of shoot out, lighting up the sky. That's the closest I can equate that what I saw. Things that I did not expect at all. Not. Oh, I know that walking with the spirit is a balanced life. And I'm sitting on my couch, for example. I don't know how many days this was, maybe 1 day, 2 days. I have no idea. But my back was to the door, and I heard this voice. Gee, Marty, I heard the door open and I'm turning. Gee, Marty, it's sure good to see you. Sure nice to see you. And I turned and there wasn't anyone there. I was quite spooked. But my friend Mike also told me that, hey, Marty, there's going to be some changes in you. Kind of expect some changes in you. I can't tell you what kind because everybody's different. So I kind of I looked at the door and I knew it was locked. How could they open it? How did they step through the door? How come I heard them? That person. And then I have a Google device when I want to hear what is happening with the weather outside. I'll ask Google, what's going on outside, what's the weather like, and Google will answer my question whether or not it's cloudy, rainy, stormy, whatever. And I hadn't prompted. I didn't prompt. I just said nothing. I said nothing. I just hey, Marty, God darn, it's good to talk to you. It's good to see you. I turn around and look, and yep, the green lights are running across the device, and I'm kind of like, how did it get started? What happened? I should have had a heart attack by then, but nope, no, my heart apparently is strong enough to withstand something like that. And I really had to get some help with this next one. I talked to Mike right away, and he's down somewhere on the other side of the world. And it was about 11 o'clock at night, uh, and I heard this loud snap, clap kind of thing in the air by my bedroom door. And I opened my eye and was looking toward the door, and my office door remained closed. And this spirit of a bear, a grizzly bear, came down. I could see the rest of the door. I could see the chair, but he came down. I don't know where he came from. Holy cow. In my mind, I said, I see you. I know you. Thank you for coming. And he walked into the front room, and I quickly got up and kind of sat up and crawled to the other side of my bed, to the foot of my bed, to see if I could see him again. And I looked, and no, he was already gone. And, I was already a praying person anyway, okay? Uh, People would come to me for, I guess some people would consider me a prayer warrior, and that's what I do, okay? And I think that's really important, especially for times like this when uh, you see things that are not of this world, but you have to stay as calm as we can be, and thank them for coming and letting you know that they're there. And what my friend said is that, they're there to help, not to be afraid of them. They're sent by the Creator. Sometimes very overwhelmed, Um, just talking about this right now has got a big lump in my chest, okay? But I'm okay. Uh, no, my expectation of what was normal before, no, it's not normal anymore. It's not like that anymore. Talking about my near-death experience often puts me in a very mm, puts me in a very kind of like I'm really sad that I had to come back. Even though I love my family, I love my friends, I love my country, I love my tribe, but to come back was a disappointment. You know, I someday I know that when it is my time, that I will not be afraid at all to go there, not at all. And I'm now prepping my children that I have 21 more years before I'm 100 years old, and there's so much for them to learn how to do, what to do, and with themselves, so that and if any of them have the same kind of experience, they have something to fall back on as my story. I try to teach them what they need to know. I am not a negligent mom. I don't interfere with their lives, but I am involved. Ah, I had 14 other brothers and sisters. And my brother just gave me some venison, one of my favorite foods in the entire world. And I really appreciate what they do for me, my brothers and sisters. I do hope that anybody who has this kind of experience, please trust in the Spirit.